What is up, everybody? It's Dr. Vibe here, host and producer of the award-winning Dr. Vibe Show, the home of Epic Conversations, and I'm the host of Epic Conversations 2020, Best Podcast News Award winner, 2018 Innovation Award winner given out by the Canadian Ethnic Media Association. I am the co-host and co-producer of the only online show in the world for dads and fathers that's sponsored by Dove Men Plus Care. And since 2020, our team has reached out directly and indirectly to over 300,000 fathers around the world. I am also the featured content creator or provider for the Fly Nubian Queen network that is powered by Dr. Boyce and Dr. Alicia Watkins. And that YouTube channel has 580,000 subscribers. And also, we are on another platform. Ryan and I are on IndieSoupMedia.tv, which is a recently launched independent content creators network based out of the US, powered by Dr. Tachi, a friend of the Dr. Vibe Show and Dr. Vibe. And that content network has a reach of over 1 million people. I was actually watching us on Indie Soup Media from my Roku TV last week. So that was a real fun thing. So good morning, Ryan Knight. Good morning, Ryan Knight. What's up?
Hey, as always, good to see you. What is up? For those that do not know who Ryan Knight is, one of the co-founders of the Afro-Caribbean Business Network. We work with entrepreneurs of African and Caribbean heritage, really to figure out what stage their business is in and help them to grow their companies exponentially. I'm an entrepreneur myself. You'll notice my voice is a bit raspy.
Yes.
On Saturday, I got go to the Christopher Lawrence 5-year anniversary, but I'm going to talk about that in a sec. I just want to let you know why my voice sounds like this. But I'm an entrepreneur as well. I run a company called Detailing Nights. So we provide mobile waterless car cleaning. So we go to people's houses or their offices, clean their cars on the spot without using water, and our plant-based eco-friendly cleaning supplies. And we are in recruitment mode. So if you know high school or college students, young adult that is looking for a summer job, definitely let them know about our info session on April the 22nd, talking about our summer entrepreneurship program where they can learn how to start their own business and earn money during the summer. So that link, we'll send it out. And actually, I'll send it to you, Dr. Vibe, if you want to put it in the Discord channel.
Sure.
But yes, my voice, because it's the first time, I haven't been to a club in a long time. When you're trying to network with someone, you're yelling into their ear. So the music had that vibe. So
okay, understood. All right. So before we go any further, let's do our Monday ritual and make sure that we represent properly. So let me get it up here. So this episode of the Morning Vibe is sponsored by the Macmillan Group, providing mortgage solutions one client at a time since 1999. Buying, refinancing, or investing, please call them in Canada, 905-813-4354, US 904-586-5636. So that is their Monday shout out. Also here, again, phone numbers Canada, US toll-free 886-883-0885, website the Macmillan Group Inc.com, and also email raycmcmillan@gmail.com. So you were clubbing.
Right.
You were, did your, no, I'm not going to go there. Oh, actually, let's do another thing. So subscribe to the Dr. Vibe Show on YouTube and hit the notification button. Also follow the Dr. Vibe Show on Facebook, Instagram, and LinkedIn. Also, to advertise your business product or service on our platform, please email me at dr.vibe@vibeshow.com. And then join the Morning Vibe Discord group. As Ryan said, email us at dr.vibe@vibeshow.com. And also, I'm going to do this. If you want to get a hold of Ryan Knight, Ryan O'Neill.com, LinkedIn, Ryan O'Neill Knight, Instagram at Ryan.Knight99, email workwithme@RyanO'NeillKnight.com. All right. So you were clubbing. Well, actually, we're supposed to have Carolyn on the second Monday each month. So I hope she's okay, but I think she may have forgotten.
Still be on the retreat.
Well, on the treatment, but she may think next week because this is the second Monday of this month. because it's
Oh, right.
it's April 8th. So, but it's all right. So we just hope she's okay. If she does jump on, no problem. So what's been going on right now? We got a open house. Oh, already we got comments. Fitness IQ Cam tells
Yes.
us. Yeah, she goes,
Got to
"Morning,
see.
gentlemen. Dr.
And she was
Vibes,
at the
you missed
event.
a great event.
Yes.
I miss a lot of great events, and there's events that you miss that I attend. Actually, there's an event coming up this Friday that you're probably going to miss out that I'm going to be at." And she says that, "Woo, congrats to the new platform, Indie Soup TV. Thank you very much." So, talk about your Saturday night.
Yeah, it was a great get together downtown Toronto in Liberty Village. So Christopher Lawrence, who's been, I would say, a staunch supporter of the Morning Vibe since the beginning. So we want to thank you for definitely supporting. So I was able to head down to represent us, the Morning Vibe, to show our support for his
Yeah, because
5 year
I was
anniversary.
doing a show at the time. People do
Yeah, yeah.
realize that I have a Saturday show that usually takes up 2 hours and then half an hour to get downtown. No, I just said no, but continue. Sorry.
Yeah, but it was good. Got to, I guess, the networking and learn about other people's businesses. The networking bingo was fun. The performer was excellent. I apologize, I don't have her name in front of me, but we'll definitely share people. We took a small video of it, so that was really good. Oh, actually, I met her husband, Nigel Legend, and they teach crocheting to like African music. It's very interesting people. Kenneth Toppin was there. Camille from Fitness IQ, got to see her. And I was able to go with Karen Rowe, who works with me at ACBN.
Yes.
And who else? Who else did I see? Shireen from Black Print was there, and Voices and Vibes.
Yes, she returned a phone call of mine the other day. I've got to get back to her. I have to see. I went. I need to speak to her. I may need to use her services of her studio.
Excellent. Yeah. So she just launched that in Whitby. So downtown Whitby. So congratulations for that. And we actually had gone down together with to the Dragon's Den event to interview entrepreneurs. So we've been getting some good content. That was with Shireen from Voices and Vibes. But overall, and again, it had the networking side and then the after party side where music was it felt like the high school vibes. So old school dance hall, and that's where my voice is now has that lump in it that I remember from when I was younger. You're trying to talk to people and it's like you can't even talk properly because you're yelling into their ear.
Yelling, I'm that. That's a little bit much for me, but hey, that's
but the thing that's a lot better that I didn't remember, because now you know how you can't smoke in clubs now. That stink that used to be on you from back in the day, that's no longer there. So yeah, it was good, and my ears weren't ringing, so I'm not too old to be listening to loud music. But we'll see how long that lasts. But again, shout out to Christopher and good. Congrats on your 5-year anniversary. So that was great.
Much respect. Fitness IQ goes, what's happening Friday? I have spoken to you about that offline, but I'll remind you. She's obviously she's just dominating the comments today. She goes, okay, why is this thing not working? Okay, all of us for some reason now my comments. Okay, my comments are stuck. I don't want to have Fitness IQ on my screen all day long. Yeah.
Oh, gotcha.
Okay, hold on. There was a moment I had to multitask with networking and listening to music.
Yes.
She says, the entertainment, spiritual warrior.
Right. Yes.
And there was, yes. And here she also says, and O'Neill drummer as well.
Right. Very good. I like that one.
Shoshana Harris was an amazing poet.
Yeah.
She says, I watched your show and went after. Oh, that's you. You watch it. I got to produce it.
Right.
I have to have a conversation with my guests after. So I wasn't finished that show again. So little intel here. Because you produce a show, you just don't end it and run away.
Yes.
You gotta we had some show stuff to discuss after. So that was another half an hour after that. Then downloading the show. I wanted to just, So she's gonna say, "Oh, I had my recording as well." Well, your recording was before, not during. Don't
Right,
even
right,
go
right.
there. Don't even go there. Let's see. She goes, "I know I was pulling your leg. You're not pulling my leg. You know your facts. Know your facts." Opal inspired. Hold on. Opal inspired says, "Good morning, everyone. Good morning, Opal Inspired on YouTube. Just hit 300 subscribers on YouTube.
Yeah, keep
So
pushing. That's
keep pushing.
solid.
Keep pushing. Yes, her goal is 400 next. So if you're not following her and getting some information on artistic creations and things like that, follow the channel. So
Mm-hmm.
Saturday was a good event. Actually, so unfortunately, you couldn't make it on Friday. Wayne Harris was on from Montego Bay, Jamaica.
Oh, okay, nice.
Or was it? I think it was Montego or Ochoa, one of the two. And he just shared, it was a recent report released by Deloitte about Black economic wealth, and it showed the state of Black economic wealth in Canada and US separately.
Okay.
It was very good conversation. And I'm sharing with people, if you didn't watch it, go to the Dr. Vibe Show YouTube channel. You need to look at that. It broke down and gave you great stats on things like education, employment, etc. Stuff that you a lot of times say, where can I find this information?
Mm-hmm.
Deloitte had it all up front in a report. It was a
Nice.
really, really good report. And it's not okay. Speaking of Mr. Lawrence, good day, Dr. Vibe and Ryan Knight.
Yeah, good to see you.
And Fitness, I guess Fitness IQ Cam is your PR person because on frequency of promotions, you just miss up praising your brother. So she's your P. Are you hiring her for PR? That's all she's been talking about this morning. The event, the event, the event.
Oh, right, right. Hey, the buzz is there. It was good getting to see people and just relax and network. So it was good.
This word network. You guys and your networking. Oh, you guys and your networking. So what else is going on in your world? What are you doing for the eclipse today?
I think I'll just watch the recording of it. I'm not going to be chasing the eclipse. And this is so dangerous. The way that there's like highway signs now all saying like,
Oh yeah, I see. Yeah, I saw that. Yeah.
Be safe. I want to see recordings of what's happening in Niagara Falls, how they navigate a million people going down there. But I was so curious to find out how many people do they typically expect, like at their peak, because they said this is going to be the most ever that's going to be down in Niagara Falls at one time. So
interesting. Very, very interesting. I think that
handling, because they called a state of emergency. So
a state of
yes.
Yeah, for an eclipse. Okay. So Fitness IQ Can says not PR, just short supporting me close people. Dr. Vibe, you were missed, but I know you were in spirit. Thank you very much. That's the nice way to treat me. Don't treat me like Fitness IQ Cam, who's trying to give me drama. All right. That's all good. I think with the eclipse, it's going to be very interesting to see where people are like, actually, I have a relative who it's her birthday today, and they have a birthday celebration planned for 6:30 this evening, should be post eclipse. And there was some things I was thinking about doing today. I said, no, I'm going to get them done yesterday because I don't want to be doing too much movement between 2 and about 5. And I have to take drive someone to somewhere around 5:30. So I hope the drama is done by then, but should be a little bit less drama because there's no school today where we are.
Yes, and same. So my kids are home. So yes, I guess we'll figure out something interesting for them to do. We'll make those boxes that you're supposed to view the eclipse with.
The most I'm going to do is I'm going to go out on my porch and just ground level, just do a little video of it. And that I'm not going to look up or anything like that. No,
gotcha.
No, but I'm waiting to hear tomorrow. People, X number of people are hospitalized and I'm going, you knew not to look at it.
I'm afraid of YouTubers or TikTokers that are actually going to do it on purpose just to
get the views.
The one that mashes up their eyes for the views. So I'm hoping I'm wrong about that and nobody takes on, because I'm sure people will get dared to do it and they'll go look just to report to their fans that, oh, I look directly at the sun. So hopefully nobody's eyes get messed up just for ratings.
For clicks and likes.
Right? Yeah.
But and Fitness IQ says, but your first reaction is to look up. Yes. But think before you do.
Right, right.
Easier said than done, but think before you do. What else has been going on in Mr. Knight's world? What's been going on over the last? It seems a little bit quieter than usual. It can't be because you're the Gala Grant King.
Right. Well, I would say the big news or thing that's been buzzing, and I'm not sure if people are following along, but the BBPA, like nobody's come out and started talking about this, and we really have to get ahead of it because I think a lot of rumors and just it's spiraling out of control. And I don't know if there's a way for the community to call a meeting so that we can discuss as a like where's the council of elders that we can bring this to. And I'm so curious, like a gentleman like Denham Jolly, what his thoughts are on what's going on. But for those that have not heard what's going on, there was a letter that was sent out by the BBPA to their members.
Is it possible for you to screen share that?
Let me see.
That would be very interesting to screen share that.
Because I think people
it's also now become a legal matter.
Oh, that I did not know.
Yes, it has now become a legal matter. But yes, for Ryan who's looking it up, there is some okay, there we go. So Ryan, let's see. You may need to zoom in on it, but let's see. Okay, yeah, you're gonna need to. Can you zoom in a little bit on it?
Let me know if that's working.
That's it. Okay, so if you can, let's see, bring it down. How long is it?
It's pretty long, but I can give
okay, like are there some
notes.
key or Cole's notes or paragraphs?
Hold on. Let's see.
So for those who may not know the BBPA, it's the Black Business and Professional Association. It's based in Toronto. They've been in existence over 40 years in Canada to help Black business. And there have been controversies, I'll say, in the past, but I think this is the biggest one to date about the organization. I remember a number of years ago, we had a lady on about their Bates program. And that's interesting. I was trying to look up her name, by the way. I couldn't find it the other day, but there was some controversy. Are you able to zoom in with your browser?
Yeah, I tried to zoom in again. Is that
okay? That's better. Yeah. Okay. Now zoom out a little bit so we can catch the whole thing. Okay. Yeah, because what I want you to do is scroll so we can catch the whole paragraph.
Yeah.
Okay, there we go. Scroll down.
Oh, but that's just the
top.
I don't
think you can. All right. No, but okay. No, it's not giving the whole. Yeah, she says, click the message and zoom. Fitness IQ is saying.
Let me try that. Hold on.
That's all right. Got a creaky chair.
I think I can just come out fully. Here we go. Let's see. Share this thing again. Oops, not slides. My screen.
So yeah, as Ryan is playing. Oh, okay. Okay, there we go. Let me just add that. There we go. Okay, that's better.
Okay.
So you don't have to you stop. Go ahead.
Yeah, if people are following. So what sparked all of this was their CEO came on board, Leanne Hanaway, and after 50 days, there was a LinkedIn post from her that she was leaving. And I guess that started the buzz of why she was leaving. But this message came out to members. So if you're not a BBPA member, you might not have seen it. They did send out that in the spirit of transparency, they want to address allegations that had come up at their AGM because somebody had asked a question saying, no, I believe it was Amoy in the meeting notes asked a question that certain funds were being paid to specific companies. So this came out to address that. and talking about that they do take it seriously. So years of 2021, 2022, there was compensation to Nadine Spencer from her marketing agency, Brand EQ. So they were reviewing it. And in the past decade, let's say when they were going through challenges, Nadine Spencer through Brand EQ provided vital pro bono services. And then they started getting increased funding in 2020. So that organization or that company was managing significant amount of, I'll just read it. With increased funding to Black agencies beginning in 2020, Ms. Spencer and Brand EQ played key roles in driving program development, implementation, and reporting, and managing a significant amount of related marketing services, creating marketing materials, content, and producing the Harry Jerome Awards. So Ms. Spencer and Brand EQ were compensated at fair market value for their program-related contributions and the immense amount of marketing work that was delivered. So this is where they now talk about that there was not an RFP process. And because I guess there was urgency at the time, and again, executing the Harry Jerome event. So what, and let me just make sure I finish this before I give my comments. So she assumed the role as the BBPA CEO. So for those that are trying to follow along, Ms. Spencer was the president of the board and runs a company, Brand EQ. Then so her company was getting contracts. So then as they shifted her from the president of the board to the CEO to run the organization, she was then able to be getting paid as a CEO, and also contracts were still going to her company. So, and this is just saying that she was very instrumental, putting on the awards, which is all true. I don't think this is not true. And then they transitioned to a governance board. And let's see. So the BBPA has also received limited grants which require financial audits, and they've met their standard. The same member who raised the misappropriation allegations also accused the BBPA staff of deliberately canceling their membership. They said that was a technical issue, that should not have had a membership. Okay. I guess 200 members had also got canceled. And then this is where they addressed the Leanne Hanaway being removed so that she's no longer the CEO. They thank her for her endeavors. Francis will assume responsibility of day-to-day. And again, BBPA remains committed to transparency. So where the concerns are coming up from people that are bringing this is that the board isn't supposed to be getting paid. And when Nadine was on the board, she was getting paid, or her company was getting paid. Then she steps down and becomes the CEO and also gets paid. And I believe the salary was quite in the six figures. I don't have the exact amount.
And six figures?
And also the amount of contracts, because when we talk about RFP, the request for proposal process, typically an organization has a threshold. So for the government, I believe it's 50,000. Anything over 50,000, you have to put that out to tender so that people can bid on it. If the allegations are true, there were contracts giving out over like $500,000. Wow. So to not have an RFP process is what's causing the issues. But the new board had come in over the last fiscal and really put a stop to this. So that's where you might have seen Nadine is no longer with the BBPA. Also, contracts are no longer going out to Brand EQ. I believe they have an RFP process in place now. So they're trying to piece the brokenness of past process. And I can attest that that would be very difficult, but we can't not talk about these things, because this is what's going to cause lack of trust in the Black community to spread out to all organizations, that especially if we're getting government funding, we have to make sure that, again, what this says is that we're transparent, that we have proper RFP processes. These are all things that are going to allow us to get additional grants in the future. So we want to make sure that as a community, we're talking about this so that we can not have it come out in major media and get that spin, because we've seen what happens when the Globe and Mail gets a hold of stuff or other media outlets. So we want to make sure that I'm hoping they'll call a meeting. I don't know.
It said in the letter that you shared with us, it says they're going to. The question is when.
Yeah?
And
Oh,
well, at the bottom it
yeah.
says membership meeting, right?
Gotcha. So I haven't seen an email with that.
Well,
meeting.
I think so. Okay, you know what? Let's take a break and then let's continue into this conversation, because there are some aspects when you talk. Like, I know that there's been at least one main media outlet that has reached out to them and they haven't responded.
Okay.
So, you know what? Let's come
Well,
back.
I hope they're only gonna talk to like Buy Blacks. If they talk to any of the major media outlets and both sides, like whoever is putting forward the lawsuit, talk to buyblacks.com. Don't go to major media and have this spin out of control. But sorry, yeah, we'll go to break and then come back.
Yeah, we'll go to break and come back on that. And we want to get everyone else's spin on this too. And also, I'm going to share some light on a conversation I had a number of years ago, face to face with Denham Jolly.
Okay.
About Black organizations and money. Was quite insightful. But we're going to come back in 2 minutes. We're just going to hear a little bit from Dr. Boyce and Dr. Alicia.
You know, and that's what I feel like. You feel like you're the Harriet Tubman of the mind.
I am.
I feel like I'm I'm one of the Harriet Tubmans of intelligent Black people. Like, I want to liberate y'all from like being left behind and ignored and oblivion. No, really, the rappers get all the attention. You know, seriously, does anybody else feel this way? Like ignorant Black people, they'll be all up, you know, getting all the headlines on the Shade Room.
Overly sexualized Black folks.
Over like the twerkers and the, you know, just people that, you know, don't always represent the best of us, you know, the diversity, you know, like people like Dr. Vibe. Like, everybody should know about people like Dr. Vibe. Dr.
Really
Vibe he's trying to do good work for Black people. Dr. Vibe from Toronto. Good to see you, my brother. Dr. Vibe. Everybody follow Dr. Vibe. He has a great show. He's very good at what he does, and I have a lot of respect for him. The men who are also doing the same thing. I see Dr. Vibe in here. He's a great brother. Everybody should follow Dr. Vibe, by the way. He's a smart brother in Canada, and we need to follow smart people. So follow Dr. Vibe if you see him in the chat. And Dr. Vibe, say your name in the chat so people can see you. I want you to click on his name, and I want you to go follow him, please, because I want these men and women that are doing the right things to get the support they deserve. Hey, Dr. Vibe, how you doing, brother? Again, like I always do, I gotta say everybody should go follow Dr. Vibe. He's got a great show. Dr. Vibe, I know Dr. Vibe's got a kingdom because I see your channel. I see you pouring into that every day. Everybody should follow Dr. Vibe, by the way. Look him up, Dr. Vibe, Vibe. He's a great friend of me and my wife, and I love this guy.
Okay, so let me hop into this. What's up, Dr. Vibe? How you doing? Everybody, if you see Dr. Vibe in the chat, everybody go follow the Dr. Vibe show. Dr. Vibe is a real smart brother and a good human being. I like the guy a lot, and he's very intelligent. And I think everyone should pay attention to what he's got going on. We got to shine the spotlight on the intelligent Black people out here that are really doing the good work. Don't just pay attention to the rappers and the celebrities. You know, a lot of these people are losers. Your true winners are your people in your community that are really having your back. You know, helping us to have stronger families and a stronger community. So Dr. Vibe is in that category. So you might see the Dr. Vibe show in this chat. If you see him, please go follow him. Okay. All right. So anyway.
All right. Welcome back to the Morning Vibe, broadcasting live on April 8th. And welcome everyone who's watching live or on the replay. And there's going to be another way you'll be able to listen to the Morning Vibe in the next few weeks. So just increasing the reach a little bit. So we never like to stay still. So we're talking about BBPA, what's going on with that. We also want to chat with all of you who are watching live, especially what are your thoughts on DEI? Because wow. But getting back, Denham Jolly, who was one of the founders of the BBPA, a number of years ago, I was sitting with him at his house in downtown Toronto with an associate. And I asked Mr. Jolly, I need your insight on something. He goes, whatever you want. I said, what's the whole thing about Black Canadian organizations and money? And the look he gave me, he just shook his head. And this is a few years ago. Another thing, yes, there has been, I know, at least one major Canadian news outlet that has reached out to the BBPA in regards to an interview. I don't think anything has happened as of yet. I know right now because I got a message from someone from that organization saying because this is it's a lawsuit now.
Oh boy.
Oh, so Carolyn. Oh, Carolyn. Okay. Oh, she says, let me know. I didn't see the link. I don't see the email, but said, okay. So what we're going to do then, we are going to have, you know what? We'll have to I'll see if Carolyn's available next Monday. She didn't. I'm pretty sure I sent her an email back when, but if I didn't, I take blame on it. But no worries.
Gotcha.
But yeah, and he just sort of looked at me, and it wasn't a fun conversation he had with us in regards to that. So,
but did he give any insights on how we could address it, get back to kind of the initial vision?
Okay, he mentioned. I remember, and it's a while back. This accountability, having the right people run these organizations, rent intent people and quite qualified people.
Okay.
Right, running these organizations.
Gotcha.
But yeah, I was going to look at basically the BBPA. From what I'm hearing, is not really doing any interviews because now it's if they're doing interviews, but it's a legal matter. So basically, yeah,
get to that
we put
point.
it's on a legal matter, which is. Yeah, so they've held off on any external communications at the moment, other than what they've sent out. So who knows? But my suggestion is someone from that organization does some sort of media reach, because there's one or two ways you can come out and talk, or you can stay quiet. I don't know what is the best on what's best to do in this situation. What does the audience think? Should the BBPA, other than that, are you happy with that statement you saw briefly? Would you like them to do something on a Vibe Blacks, on the Dr. Vibe show? I would hope that if they do something media-wise, they do go to a Black-owned and Black-run platform to speak about it. Just a thought.
And that's where, like, specifics, because the email is fine, but if we don't know, because I'm hearing ranges of contracts like 700,000 up to 1.5 million. Wow. So it's like, these are things that as a community we should talk about, understand exactly what the numbers are. Hey, what was this person getting paid? Was that proper? And how was it addressed? Because if the new board has now fixed that, it'd be great, especially as members, we'd want to know, okay, what is the current RFP process? You've been in business for over 40 years for that.
And you know what's interesting about this too? This is they get funding from the government.
Absolutely.
So it should be accessible to us to look at, should it not?
That should be in their bylaws. Like, it should be.
I don't know. I'm just putting it out there because it should be accessible to many people, because again, it's government money. So Fitness IQ Cam says yes. Okay, there goes my funny link there. Yes, this needs to be resolved. Ryan Singh says, what should we do? ACBN has been doing a very transparent job. How do we manage all of your duties with public monies? Yes. What are your guiding principles, Ryan? And Fitness IQ goes, I think you're hearing them right now, but Black owned before going to other platforms. We'll see. So,
absolutely. Just to give an example, so when we got the Black Entrepreneurship Program funding for the ecosystem, it was 1.3 million over 4 years. So when we were doing our application, when we were signing the agreement, we had to outline what our RFP process was. So we actually hired an RFP, like a procurement consultant, who created our full, I would say, guidelines. And for ours, similar to the government, like if anything's over 50,000, that does have to go to RFP. And the RFP process is not fun, because when you put things on Mercs and people have to bid on
what's a Merc? You got to,
so,
we're not in your world right now. What's a Merc?
So there's certain websites that you can put opportunities on. So one of them is called MERX, MERX. Another one's like Buy and Sell Canada, which is what the federal government uses. And I think actually Buy and Sell, different municipalities use that as well. So if you want to do business with the government and you're looking for their opportunities that they've put out to tender, these websites is where you would find them. So even for organizations, we can use MERX to put, and for us, it was like to help us do an event for the, oh my gosh, the conference, the Black Entrepreneurship Ecosystem Conference.
Exactly.
Our marketing, because our marketing was going to be over 50,000 for the year. We had to put that out to tender. Actually, it was only 30,000, but we still put it out to tender just so that people can bid on it. Why I say it's not fun is because now when it's an open and transparent process, the person that you want to get it does not always get it. So, and I'll be very transparent. Like there's people that I've worked with in the community that like, you know, we have this opportunity. You've worked with
you've mentioned one of those people to me, and we won't go there.
And it's heartbreaking sometimes because you'll go through the procurement process and that person or people that you might want to get it are not strong with doing bidding.
Follow up and follow through.
Well, the whole process, right? So on paper, they might not represent as well as other companies, and those companies are the ones that will win out. And we've hired people, gone through the procurement process, and they weren't great, but still, because we go through the scoring system and they win the bid, we have that contract with them, we go through the agreement, and it's just all becomes a process. So when you try to just hook up your friends, you can't do that with government money.
No, you cannot.
And because it's all going to come out.
There is a process.
And this is where it gets very technical. And that's why I'm hoping that they have these things in place now so that you don't have to guess it. It's like, hey, what is your guideline? This is what it is. Are you following it or not?
Yeah. So Fitness Like UCAM says it's like doing earnings reports. And then LOL, yes, we should do a workshop about this type of process. Good idea.
And we have done, especially.
Yes, you have. I know. I'm sure your organization has.
And this is where it shouldn't be
an unknown.
Yeah, like even if it's difficult, we still have to understand it.
Yeah, there's been enough. At least I know enough webinars about the procurement process.
Yeah, and PAC, the Procurement Assistance Canada, they've been really good with doing these sessions.
Absolutely. So I'm gonna take partially the blame why Carolyn is not on today. I just checked my emails. I did not send an email with a link, but we agreed a few months ago for the next few months of topics. So we're both a little bit, but I will own on to. I did send her a login link, but after this our live conversation, I'm going to see if she's available next Monday, because right now next Monday is open to see if she can come on and chat with us about busting belly fat, especially after some of the food you guys ate on Saturday.
Right.
You know how to bust your belly fat. But I think that the procurement process, I think, again, it a little bit goes back to knowing the process. You know, so many organizations I know, and even entrepreneurs, they don't have a process. When you don't have a process in place, that's when things can blow up.
Well, and that's what I guess caused me to fall out of favor with certain organizations.
You?
I don't know if you remember, but when the Globe and Mail or CBC did the article about FACE, and they were asking what was the procurement process to award these funds, there wasn't any. So the government itself has to be transparent in how they award things. And I mean, side note, trivia, BBPA is one of the founding members of FACE. So also the Black Opportunity Fund was not thrilled about the procurement process of the endowment fund. The National Institute for People of African Descent, that still hasn't been awarded. So it's like, it's not just the BBPA that we're like, I definitely can't lecture to the whole process, and they are the elder organization in the community. So this is where you have to set the standard of and the blueprint that we can follow. And sometimes they say either there's certain things that people do that you take as not motivation, but it's like the way to do it or the way not to do it, and what you were learning from the past and now that's coming out. So you wonder how long has this been going on, because it's not just Nadine and Blair and DQ like this. If there was no procurement process at all for 40 years, this is where we have to get better at building the strong foundations. And like you said,
structure.
And who's leading?
Like I'm going to give you another interesting situation. There is an organization, Black led, that's been around for a while. How much can I go into this? They have never done a survey for their volunteers, and they've been around at least 15 years.
Gotcha.
They have never done a survey about the volunteer experience.
Gotcha. And remember when Uncle Louis March was on
Funding Olympics.
Organizations don't even do reports on their own programs.
Yep.
These are things.
And again, this comes back, it circles back. There's a lot of people I'm going at. Organizations is one, but also the government who gives out this money. Standards.
Right.
If you give this money out as a government, do you have certain standards? Right? Do you have, and if they're not meeting them, set them free. You have to have standards, right? No, you mentioned Louis. He would say this is all part of the Funding Olympics.
Yes.
This is all part of the Funding Olympics. And we have to realize too, people who look like us in this country, there may be parties that say, you know what, you guys don't deserve anything, and we don't care because your vote doesn't matter to us.
Valid. And one thing, I'm not sure if people have been following the strike at the AGO. So it's definitely not only the Black community that is very finicky with funding. So the AGO, their CEO, I think was getting
Art Gallery of Ontario. Yeah.
Yes. Oh man, I just looked at it. It was like either $600,000 salary and awarding contracts to his consulting firm of over $600,000, and then people, I guess, at the ground level not getting paid a living wage. So,
well, but there's another side. Another side is too. We have concerns about Black-led and Black-run organizations, but we also have to make sure that we give the same energy for organizations that are not Black-led and Black-run.
Absolutely.
So it has to be a two-way street. We can have shade amongst our own, but also how come we don't have shade against other organizations that we question their business practices?
Right.
So it has to be an equal opportunity shading. I just made up that term. Equal opportunity shading, it's really important. Yeah, it says, as FitNet's IQ Cam says, yuppers and also same energy for all organizations. Agreed. Absolutely 100%. So this story is not, I'm going to say, I can never say, you wonder if it will go away. And also what's interesting, isn't it in 2 or 3 weeks time, Harry Jerome Awards, which is their premier, the BBPA's premier event.
That's happening April 27th. So,
wow. That's like
that is coming
just over 3 weeks. You're going, aren't you, Ryan?
I still am working corners to afford my ticket. So
and how much of a ticket? How much of a ticket is the ticket?
Oh, last I checked, it was $325. I think it's like $3,200 for a table.
So here's the question I have for the live audience and even those who are watching on replay. Would you pay $300 to go to a gala? Let me put it that way. A gala. I'm not going to say specific, but just a gala of a Black. Well, there's two different issues. There could be a Black-led or Black-run organization. Would you pay $300? I'd just be curious.
And the same price, I think Black North, their gala is
Yes.
also coming up, and I believe that was in the the email that I had gotten last time from them, it was 15,000 in order to get a VIP table. Yeah. So, oh man, what's that? Like $1,500 a ticket for seats, and I hope it seats 10. It's only for 10.
So Fitness ICAM says, with my approach, yes. Okay, what is your approach?
Yeah, interesting.
You know, I think that look who's here. Roger Dundas is here.
Good to see
So
you.
Roger and his beautiful internally and externally wife, Camille Dundas, from buyblacks.com. We've mentioned it in the conversation. Black Canada's #1 online magazine.
Yes,
Ryan
yes.
says the prices have gone up on everything.
Right.
Okay, so
well, and then in this climate, it's like $300 pays my water bill. Or do I go to the Hairdrome? And hey, nothing against the Hairdromes. There's definitely times where we should celebrate and talk about the excellence in our community. But the BBPA used to be known as that kind of elite entity. Only Hairdromes was only for like a certain crowd. And now they've really started to work a lot more in the community, a lot more programs. I think almost 20 different programs. They're in Little Jamaica. Shout out to Michelle. But then that elite thing is coming back with raising the prices on the Hairdromes. It makes
there's a really good comment here, but I'm going to get to. But good morning, Ray. Group, thank you for your continued sponsorship.
Where in the world are you, Ray?
Yeah, I know where he is. I'm not going to say. Fitness like you can says Roger Dundas Hola. Hayden Morrison says a big problem in our community is that when a bad thing happens, we think we're the only bad ones. Not true. Agreed. Now, this is the interesting comment. Folks that spend that amount of money means they are serious about certain things, and I can network with them. You think so? That's an assumption.
Well, we'd love to hear your experience with previous events. Like, have you been to the Hairdromes camp?
I haven't, but okay. Here's a fact. My content is getting distributed by 2 entities that are US based. Didn't have to go to an award show. And again, I'm going to go back to my 3s. I haven't said in a long time. Trauma, repetition, symbolism. More and more, these events to me are symbolism. Right. Network. How many people's net is working? I'm going to leave it at that. Right. Yes. Okay. Fitness IQ. Yes. If you have to pay your water bill, don't sacrifice that. Well, I know. Well, Fitness IQ. You work with some clients that sacrifice some things to go to these things. And I know we've had some interesting conversations about that. I ain't going to go there. And then she says, it depends on the events. Yes, it does. Okay. I'm on Fitness IQ now because she's saying now, I've been there and I did enjoy the networking. Tell me what the networking has got you from the times you went there. All right. That's all I want. If you're up to it, tell me where that networking has got you. Roger, a voice of reason. My concern with the galas is ultimately how much money is raised for the people they support. A lot of money just exists in the community.
Exits
community. Exactly.
Right.
Are we having these events at a Black run place? Okay. I'm going to go there. I'm going to go there just for a second. The PR agency for the Hairdrome Awards is not a Black owned agency.
Ouch. Well, and where is it held? Beanfield Center. 1 is very expensive, and 2, does that help dollars circulate in the Black community?
I'm not saying. I'm just saying. I'm not saying. And hey, and I know we may not have it. This is a larger conversation, but the thing is, when I saw that the PR agency for the Hairdrome Awards, if I told you the background of the person who run, you just go, the more I know, the less I understand.
Interesting.
But, and again, that's a whole other thing, because I'm curious to know what was the RFP process for that.
Right.
Because you and I know there are Black owned and run PR agencies out there. I'd even like to know if they were even told or what sort of work was on it. So I'll step back into the main lane. But that right there, when I saw that, the person who shared that information, I called them a moment and go, "Why are you sending me this? You want to stress me?"
Right. Yes.
You know, I just, you know, lots of money raised there. And actually, here's another question. All these galas, because I'm not going specific now on the Harry Drome ones, all these galas, are people making money?
And because they're so expensive to produce, a lot of times the end result of, if it's a fundraiser, it doesn't pan out. I've talked to a lot of different organizations that do these events, and it just becomes more of a headache to execute the event without the big payoff I feel that they're expecting. I know a lot, and even as I talk to newer organizations, and the first few things that they're thinking of doing, oh, we're gonna do this gala. Just why? Before we go down that road, tell me why. And I do agree it helps to increase your brand awareness because you get to promote.
Absolutely.
But the end result of funding to actually run your programs usually doesn't pan out. So I'm not sure. And sometimes it's because of these big events that it makes it feel for smaller organizations like, oh, that's what we should do. Like, we should do a gala because look at how well attended the Black North one was, or the BBPA Harry Drome one was.
Okay, so you realize that people who can afford these things, how many galas do people now attend a year? You got to pick and choose. So Ryan Singh says, no, not a lot of money being made at these galas. Still a lot of volunteers. Exactly.
Okay, gotcha.
Right? You're needing volunteers because you can't pay them for their time.
Right.
Or their whatever reason. Whatever reason. Roger Dundas has his exhibition place government owned. Ah, that's interesting because you have the Beanfield Center. Is that on Exhibition Place grounds?
Yes.
That's a good question. That is a very good question. I'm gonna have to look that up. But yeah, I think that, you know, we really need a good sit down. Like, I really,
yeah,
I
even
don't know.
if it's not about these things that have bubbled up specifically, but just having those community conversations about operations, where are we going as a community in the future? Like, how should we be structuring ourselves? What activities would be best to do? What has actually worked in the past that we can do more of instead of.
Okay,
Yeah.
so I'm just answering Roger. The exhibition place is government owned. Is publicly owned mixed use district in the city of Toronto. Yeah, so I'm saying here it is exhibition place is government owned.
The,
city of
are you
Toronto.
able to check Beanfield Center?
Beanfield is private. Beanfield is a private.
Oh, okay.
That's a That's it used to be known as, was it Allstream Place?
Allstream, yeah. Allstream.
Yeah. Allstream Place. Company I used to work for many years ago, by the way.
Oh, gotcha.
See, the folks at the galas are the ones I need to talk to, see if they're financially fit. That'd
be a good survey to take. Yes.
Well, no, I don't. Okay, I'm continuing to have. Okay, there we go. You know, see if they're financially fit. Well, I think that's an interesting question. I wonder what percentage of those people are financially fit. Right? Financially fit. But I think that, like I said, this is it's part of a larger conversation. Again, I wish you were there on Friday when we broke down those stats with Deloitte.
I'm gonna check
Black Wealth in Canada, and it was published in late February, so it's a very recent.
Okay, excellent.
Now, here's something interesting though that you need to know. At the end of the report, they did talk about entrepreneurship. They listed 4 organizations when it came to Black entrepreneurship. Yours was not listed.
Hey, we're still working on building our relationship with Deloitte, so I guess we're not on their radar just yet.
Yeah, I said.
Do you remember who was listed? So I can.
Yes. Black Business and Professional Association, Black Canadian Black Chamber of Commerce, BOF, and I don't know, there was one more.
Oh, okay. Only Ontario? They didn't mention BBI? Like
no
from outside of Ontario?
No, it seemed basically. So my question is, who did the research on this? Because to list those 4 organizations, and nothing against the 4 organizations, but I think there were some other ones that could have been considered to be put in that report. But Black Entrepreneurship Fund. Oh, and they also they mentioned the Canadian Black ecosystem,
Hey, see, we're in there.
Well, you're not there by name. They just named the Canadian Black ecosystem, the government thing, and BOF, BBPA, and Canadian Black Chamber of Commerce.
Gotcha.
So that's who they named in that report. But great report again. If you're part of our Discord group, the link is posted in there.
Nice.
And actually,
figuring out my Discord, I got to get in there.
No problem. It's okay. But the good thing about it is the report covers Black America and Black Canada separately.
Yeah, I'd love to see that distinction.
Right? It's very, very well seen. Well, so Roger says better to pay government than a non-melanated owned venue. Correct. I agree with that. But the venue that they're having at is not government owned. It's on government land, and they probably pay the government X amount of fees to, lease it or whatever. Let me see here. Ryan Singh says, I'm quite impressed with Ryan O'Neill's efforts to support entrepreneurs. That $10 coupon was fire for the marketplace.
Oh, the ACBN coins? Yes. So sorry for those that weren't able to attend the symposium. We had a marketplace, and then ACBN created our own coin that our audience could use to spend at the marketplace. So yeah, the vendors really enjoyed it. So we're definitely going to do more of that.
Let me go here. Frequency. Let's see. This it's a mouse thing. That's a challenge here. Tuning back in. Will the organization that is will the funds be held at this time? Good question. Doubt it.
Hey, once legal stuff gets into the mix, anything is possible. Things can get frozen because funders get cold feet. They don't want to be engaged with anything that might legally put them at risk. So this is where it spirals down, and it can really get out of control, and hopefully it can be reined in. I'm not sure the best approach, but we'll see.
Well, I think what's going to happen here too is that one of the reasons organizations give money to other organizations so they look like a good corporate citizen.
Yes.
Absolutely. So it'll be very interesting to see what, if any, impact that has to the donors of organizations like the BBPA and ripple effect, because again, there's a number of organizations like the BBPA, like yours, the ACBN, Black Opportunity Fund. What is going to be the thoughts of organizations? Because as we always know, bad news travels faster than good news.
Well, and this is why I put so much pressure on Black North, because they have these relationships with a lot of corporations. So the better that they perform, because now when we ACBN call a corporation and say like, hey, we're looking to, strengthen our relationship with you, they'll mention, oh, but we're already working with Black North. We've signed their pledge, and almost ensuing like we should just go work through Black North to get to them. So if they're going to be the gatekeeper, one, they have to have the best interests of the Black community at heart, which I'm sure they do. And they actually have to make those connections, which I haven't seen. So if we can't talk to corporations now because they're saying they're working with Black North,
it's an easy out. And, it segues so nicely into this segues so nicely into the whole DEI conversation, because, right? That's a whole other conversation, but these things are related. The question is, for everyone who's watching live or on replay, put in the comments, has DEI been on a scale? Here we go. On a scale of 0 to 10, how successful has DEI been? I want people to put in the comments, how successful has it been? Because I have my thoughts on this. Watched something on the weekend that is really interesting. Actually, was it a day or so ago? I watched a Instagram live by Angela Rye, who's quite a prominent social political commentator in the United States, and she was saying she's had a whole bunch of contracts that have been put on hold that are involved with clients in regards to DEI.
Because the question would be, do you know somebody that has the title of DEI at a workplace that still has their job? Because every person that I've met that has that title no longer is with that company that gave them that title. And they might have moved to like another company, but I call and it gets difficult because that's always the person that they connect you with at a company when you're trying to create a relationship with the corporation, and then that person's not there in 6 months. So it makes an out for them and also an easy way to dismiss. And the thing that I don't like about DEI is that it's diluted the conversation of Black empowerment.
Yep.
And I know Roland Martin, he had talked about how affirmative action is what has now been diluted into DEI. And affirmative action was specifically for Black people. And now you have Black consultants doing DEI or people working in DEI that are advocating for gay white men. Like it's too diluted. So when you can't focus and say, this is what we're here to advocate for, and it's now spread over, I mean, people of color, South Asian, everything gets now put into the work of Black empowerment. It loses its impact, and we have to figure out a way to get back to focus on what we want to see. And that doesn't.
We gotta take charge of our own destiny, my man.
But that's the thing, because if you try to do that, you then get labeled at, oh, what do you have against gay white men? Oh, what do you have against South Asians? Like nothing. But that's not our focus. Like we can't advocate for people that we don't know their plight. They are doing a great job of advocating for themselves. We also need to do a good job of advocating for ourselves.
There you go. So just catching up, Dr. Tachi's Goog. She said, good morning, all. So Dr. Tachi, good. Ryan Singh says, the last I heard that funding was down. Several of my deliverables from BAIDS were cut back. But through BAIDS, I was able to realize a business plan that helped my company project for the first time. Those incubator programs have been purposeful for so many people. Dr. Tachi, go ahead.
Oh, sorry. I was just saying what did Dr. Tachi say?
Dr. Tachi said it's only successful as companies want it to be, which is not very. It's theater.
Oh, the DEI. And yeah, what Ryan was saying as well, I am a big fan of the BAIDS program and what BBPA was doing. And you'll know my monthly info session about grants. We always mention them, if not first, second, because it's a great program to help businesses get the services that they need. That's why we need to see them succeed. It's like, I don't bring up these things in order to bring down the BBPA or any Black organizations that are getting funding, that have the mandate to do great work in the community. We need to see them succeed, and in a selfish way, so that an organization like ACBN now can walk into rooms and have conversations and not have drama and garbage brought up. It's like, oh, what do you think about like, I'm here to do work. Like, if ACBN then also doesn't do well, it's going to have that domino effect of all the other organizations that come after saying like, oh, but I saw ACBN doing it's like, if we're not setting a good example, it's going to cause an issue for other organizations. And this is 60 years plus in the making. And the work that we do with the Black Empowerment Manifesto outlines all the research that's been done with all these initiatives that Black organizations have been doing, and hasn't produced anything of I'm gonna get a phone call after this. After 60 years of funding and what the
I love
report
I
shows-
love I love it. You get the phone calls. I don't get phone calls. Right? I don't know. Maybe people are afraid of me. I don't get phone calls.
Right.
Roger says ultimately funders will stick with Black community associations with good governance and transparent operations that are making an impact in the community or where they can get the most publicity.
Yeah, but sometimes both of those things they conflict, because an organization that can give good publicity might not have good governance, and then an organization that has great governance and transparency can't give the publicity, so they won't get the money.
All right. Ryan Singh says, I can say the DAI has been amazing when it happened, but I know it is troubling in the first. It's not for see, it's troubling already because if you pay attention to what's going on in the US, remember, a lot of these companies have Canadian subsidiaries. And like it or not, a lot of times we duplicate what goes on in the United States. And DEI, Hayden says DEI is DOA for Black people. Actually, man. The hardcore Republicans in the US say DEI is DIE.
Oh no.
Yeah, that's what they're saying. And okay, it lives for 15 minutes. Yeah, I think that here's a good question. Do we keep on pushing for DEI or do we push ourselves to do it? Sometimes it's better to go through the struggle and get the victory at the end than to be dependent on and reliant on someone else to help you get to that struggle, who you don't know what their real intentions are.
Well, we need better alternatives. If people are having difficult times in corporations that are not Black led, there needs to be an alternative for their expertise to now go work somewhere else.
We have to create that expertise.
If we, as a Black entrepreneurship community, can create equivalents to KPMG or Deloitte, that now, if a person is facing systemic racism at a company, they can, you know what, I'm gonna go work for Knight and Co. that appreciates my expertise, and I'll help them become a multi-billion-dollar company, instead of we're struggling and having such mental stress at a KPMG, because that's the pinnacle. Like, if we're being real, these organizations, McKinsey and all the big firms, that's the pinnacle of where people want to work. And if you have that expertise, that's where you want to be. So you have to deal with a lot of crap. There's no
it comes at a price. It comes at a price. Yeah. Like, a financial price, an emotional price,
big time emotional price.
So it's, here's another thing and I'm not against Black people who want jobs, but what is a dream job in a corporation if you're Black?
Yeah, in fairness, it sometimes is the dream job. Like, if they put on paper.
So here's my question. Yeah. Is it many people who look like us, and we have different experiences here? Is it the dream to have a job?
I don't know.
I just put it out there. I'm just putting it out there.
One thing I know, entrepreneurship is not for everyone.
Agreed.
Sometimes, being part of a team and having your expertise is good, and I wouldn't put it on everybody to go start a business and try to, on their own, create an equivalent to, the big firms. But that is a valid question. Like, maybe you can be the catalyst because you have the expertise. Now let's go build something for ourselves that gives you the dream job and allows the community to grow.
So one of the things, and I have nothing against people who want jobs, but the thing is, for most people who have a job, you're only going to get to a certain limit.
Yeah.
Right? So I just put it out there. I don't have anything against real jobs. Darcy says, Mr. Rose, haven't seen you for a while. Self-reliance is the key. Go back to Marcus Garvey's teaching. For us, by us, period. It's the only way to ensure our best interests are met. And also says, can't expect any other community to take care of us. Yeah, facts right there.
Yes.
Can't expect any other community to take care of us like we do. Frequency Event Promotion says, curious and looking past the abstract, should DI be facilitated by melanated people? Good question.
Well, the word, and this is where, because you can't argue with who gets a DEI position, because if it's a white woman, that is diversity and inclusion. So now, if you're going to the company expecting them, oh, what are you doing for Black people? And they're showing you a DEI position, that is not only for Black people. So it doesn't have to be a melanated Black person in that role.
That's right.
Because their role is diluted. This is where, if we're not focused on what is the ultimate objective of DEI? If you ask any company or anybody that teaches it as a consultant that goes in, the main objective is that the company is more accepting.
Diverse.
Diverse. What is the definition of diverse?
It's not Black.
That's not. So if we're talking about something that has no specific impact on Black community, it has general impact. It definitely, if a company is more inclusive and a person of color or a Black person wants to engage in that company, I'm sure they will land softer. But when you go in there and expect, and especially specifically are looking for Black empowerment, that is not the objective of DEI.
Exactly.
So we have to create that guidelines for
creating our own,
and it has to be us. Nobody's going to create Black empowerment for us.
So then that comes back to my golden three: trauma, repetition, symbolism. And again, we have to start looking at ourselves and saying, why are we not ahead? Well, maybe some of the reasons is because some of us, we're not doing it. All right. I like Hayden Morrison. Bring up some music. If we don't know them by now, we'll never know them. All right. Classic song. Teddy P. I love it. Ryan Singh says diverse is key and several agendas have taken over about inclusively into organizations. It is key, but it's, I just say be one first.
So look at this. So DEI gets put into a company. The community that is most organized is going to take advantage of the DEI the best. So if you look at South Asians and Blacks, who as a community is more organized? Jews versus the Black community. Who's more organized? Gay community versus the Black community.
No, hold on. I'll be specific. Non-melanated gay community, because there's even
valid, right? So who's more organized? So now and that's where DEI is broad. So the pockets that are most organized, and that's what I think Ryan was saying, like the agencies are now taking over because they have a specific objective. They said, hey, your company's DEI, what are you doing for the LGBTQ2A+? Like, I want to hear specifics about what you are doing for our community. Is the Black community doing that? Are we going to companies and saying, okay, you have DEI, what specifically are you doing for the Black community? We're getting pushed to the side and they're saying like, oh, but no, we've done DEI, so didn't we do what we need to do for Black people? And no, that is not good enough. So we have to be able to push that pressure.
Symbolism again. Frequency event promotions goes, has anyone ever heard of the phrase, quote, smoke screen, unquote?
Right.
You know, it's
so true.
You know, it's so the conversation goes on, but the thing is, again, if you look at that report by Deloitte, and this is a reason why you need to be a member of the Morning Vibe Discord page.
Yes.
See, and also Wayne Harris last Friday was fire. He went into so many different areas, you know, and in regards to that, and he really broke it down. Really broke it down. But let me tell you, family, it's not looking pretty right now.
Yeah, it might not be something you want to hear.
Right.
You need to hear it.
But as someone that we were in a conversation yesterday, it's just like that line by Jack Nicholson in the movie A Few Good Men. Can you handle the truth?
Right.
Because he says, you can't handle the truth. Can you handle the truth?
Yes.
Hayden Morrison says diverse has never been of for Black people. It's a fact we need to accept. Exactly. It's not, as Ryan was saying earlier on, diversity doesn't mean be one first.
Right.
But other communities make sure they're first.
Yes, exactly. That's the difference. Is they'll hear diverse and then zero right in on them. They're like, okay, what does that mean for us? I want to see exactly what you're
And
gonna
if it
do.
ain't good for us, we're gonna do our own thing.
Yeah. Absolutely.
We're gonna do our own thing. And that's the thinking. This is where I get back to my question. Is it bad if we go through some pain doing it on our own and not saying totally escape the DEI world, but saying, like, most companies I worked for in the past, I took their best practice and adopted it to my own.
Gotcha. Yes.
So we have to look at, okay, what's working out there? What can we adopt? And let's form something of our own. Because, you know, what is our world going to look like in 20 years from now with the young people that are growing up right now?
Right.
You know, I remember I've just seen, okay, what is their world gonna look like? And that's a whole other, there's a number of conversations that come out of that. But what sort of world are we setting up for them? Do we want them working in companies where they're getting treated negatively because of their race?
True.
You know, there's where they're a good job. Do we want to have our young people 10, 15 years old working at a job?
Well, even this is where I'm saying the job part isn't the issue. It's now, because look at $100 million has gone into the Black Entrepreneurship Program and just the ecosystem. So supporting Black businesses. Did those programs create enough businesses that we can hire our own? Or did it structure enough of them to grow that we can hire our own people? So when they need that first job, there's a company in our community that they can go to get it. That's what I haven't seen proof of.
And I agree with you there, but I think it even goes deeper than that. There's a mindset.
Gotcha.
A lot of times there's a mindset saying, oh, those who don't look like us can do a better job than taking maybe a little extra time, doing some research, saying, oh, this company does that. Let me do it for them. Let me give let me see who they've done the work for. If it's good, let me go with them. One of the challenges that that's whole other conversations, like millions gone forever, but a number of us have to stop looking for people who don't look like us validation.
Right.
Validation to validate ourselves. Right? There's a lot of good organizations out there that if you do a little research, or I'll go back to, fitness there. If you network, if your net is working, good organizations that people who look like us run, who do that work, who do work. But again, sometimes we think that, because they don't look like us, they can do a better job. Right. And so it's Dr. Tachi is in now. Exactly. There is a disconnect. I'm not so sure we are poised for growth. It's the same thing admitting people from challenged backgrounds into college. The key is retention, not just bringing them in. Exactly.
Gotcha. Yep.
And Dr. Tachi is in the U.S. There is an attack by some segments in the U.S. to basically get rid of all HBCUs. She's a graduate of HBCU.
Right.
In Canada, we don't have any predominantly Black post-secondary institutions.
Right.
So we also have to be on the aware that we got to start educating our own kids.
Yep.
Right? Christopher says here, the only thing about everyone being a CEO, then who's going to be the employees? Have people that don't look like us be our employees.
And that's
not everyone's meant to be a CEO. Agreed, but we have to put ourselves in positions where we are providing employment.
Yes.
Like him or don't like people like Jeff Bezos, Elon Musk, look at how many people they employ.
Walmart, Waltons, like
Yeah, look how many people they
so many
employ.
people. Right.
Right? Yes, there, and we have to realize we shouldn't beat up on ourselves that we're not at that. They've had a 400-year head start.
Right.
Right? They've had so don't say, oh, we're not this, we're not. Of course, they've had a 400+ year head start. Doesn't mean you shouldn't go after it. A lot of these companies were thought of as just an idea. What is it? UPS was started by guys who rode bicycles delivering stuff.
Look at that.
They rode bicycles, right?
Right.
So next comment here, understanding the key principles of Garvey. I think we have the answers. However, self-reliance is needed at this time. I wish we could dive into this more clearly. We will. Next up, Dr. Tachi. This is why not one dime of my money will go to a PWI. We have to retain HBCUs. They graduate huge numbers of Black professionals. And that's another thing. When you see universities, colleges getting money to their endowments, it's not employees that are donating that money the large amount of time. It's people who own businesses.
Yeah, alumni.
Money, donating money. We've got to do that. If we want to survive it, we got to do it.
Right.
Fit and anti-Q cows, watcha. Ryan Singh. We have to stay strong for each other because the divide and conquer is alive and well and thriving. Not only alive and well, it's thriving.
Right.
Then I think it's fitness IQ cows. I think it's ideal collaborating for some industries that is doing doing it separate. Yes, especially when it comes to AI. Look, if you can't get into a company, buy shares in that company.
Absolutely.
Right? You don't have to work at a company to benefit.
To own it.
Right? Right? Buy shares. You don't have to, hey, you don't want, you may not like Walmart. Buy shares in the company and then reinvest it. Look at this. It is funny that you told the story of how companies start from humble beginnings. Again, the answers are right on our noses. Absolutely.
So true.
Absolutely. Fitness IQ, stocks. Yes. Yes, there's a gem who I highly respected is trying to get parents to understand, put $5 a day into stocks for your kids. So by the time they become 25, 30 years old, and you play the long term, they got $200,000. So if they're working a job, they don't like it, they can leave.
They have options. Exactly.
There we go. With options comes freedom.
Yes. You don't have to feel stuck.
With options comes freedom. Capitalism was not based for freedom. Only certain people are supposed to get freedom in capitalism, right? Only certain people. I think we showed it last week. That report from CNBC, the top 1% in the U.S. net worth has grown by 40-something trillion dollars since the pandemic.
Holy.
Right? Mainly through the stock market. Ray comes in. Black micro communities in the GTA have to learn about the fine art of collaboration. Until then, the growth will forever be stymied. 100%. Facts. Facts. Well, we were supposed to talk about food today. Fitness IQ, as I actually preach this, not everyone can be a business owner, but whether you're self-employed, employed, or a business owner, you can be investors as well. Absolutely. True. Yes, we were supposed to talk about food today. It didn't happen because I didn't send the email out to Carolyn, but Carolyn knew the conversation was today. But no problem. As I said, I'm going to get in touch with her today and see if she can be on next week. But family, we hadn't had one of these for a while. So you know what? Nothing just happens. So Dr. Knight, who's probably going to get a massive phone calls after this conversation. Maybe you need, or do you have your own Black PR company? I could represent you, by the way. But if you,
hey, we'll talk about that.
Yeah, or maybe that. But what's up? Well, comments are still coming in. Frequency, a large portion of what we have has been able to exist through a network that alone needs more persons to join the net. The bigger the net, the bigger worth, quote, network, unquote, net worth. Well, of course you would say that, of course.
Yes.
And Fitness, I guess we will bust our belly fat soon. Yes. Well, you don't have to worry. You're nice and trim, Fitness. You have to worry about that. You're nice and he'll have to show with your PR through. He'll have to show up if he's your PR though. Yes, got it.
Right.
What was I was thinking about something? Can't remember. But yeah, I'm kidding, Dr. Vibe. No worries. No worries. That's all right. Hey, there you go. Buy Blacks do have a PR arm.
Oh, okay, gotcha.
Okay, so what I was gonna say, yeah, I just think we really have to do some reflection when it comes to what each person's future is going to be who's watching this live or in replay. You know what I would put a question out there. What is the two things you need to do in what you're doing before the end of the year to advance your business or service forward? What are the two things you need to do? And think on that. But yes,
I like that.
That's it for today. What's up for the rest of the week, Mr. Knight?
Yeah, the Ontario Trillium Foundation has their Youth Opportunities Fund. So we're going to be doing a session about that on Saturday, I believe the 13th. So if people are interested, if you have a grassroots organization, you may have applied for the Foundation for Black Communities, and they're supposed to announce they got delayed. So by mid-April for their big grant. Same concept, you can apply for the Youth Opportunities Fund. So definitely reach out if you're interested. We're going to do that session on Saturday. And beyond that, just a week of talking to entrepreneurs, figuring out what stage their business is in, and then helping them to, one, get access to funding and support with their marketing and sales. So how about yourself? How's the week looking?
Well, I just want to ask you, is there still as much money out there as there was a year or two ago?
In general, yes, specific to the Black community. With the foundation, it has increased because there weren't a lot of grants specific to the Black community that, like the Supporting Black Communities one. So that was.
Is that for nonprofits?
Yes.
Okay. What about for-profits?
And that there wasn't many grants to begin with. So when we talk about all the funding, there were loan programs, there were service programs, like people to get help.
Here's another question.
Yeah.
Have you heard back from any of the businesses you helped in regards to the TELUS grant?
TELUS.
Didn't they have an application a few months ago?
TELUS or Desjardins?
Either one.
Okay, I haven't heard much of the TELUS one. A few people got the American Express one.
How much was that for?
That was 10,000, and the Raise one was 10. But we're waiting to hear from Desjardins. I think they said May.
Okay,
that was 20,000.
But there was a TELUS one from a few months ago that you were pushing.
No, remember, we talked about that. We saw the list of there was nobody from the Black community that got funding from TELUS.
Yeah, but you look on their website. They have
melanated people. Pictures of Black people, but not awardees.
Yes,
which is very
interesting. Very interesting.
Yes.
Mr. Dundas is coming. Question for Ryan. What is ACBN doing to increase numbers?
And members.
Members, sorry.
I love that question because that is part of our strategic plan, was how do we actually get more people to engage? I feel like we do a good job of free membership, like people that do our business needs assessment. Our database is over 6,000 now, and there's about 700 that have become free members by doing the assessment. But paid members, we have to definitely do a lot better. So I know we're going to be reaching out to buyblacks.com and Roger to see what type of marketing we can do to get that part of the membership going.
Well, I think, and here's another thing. Yeah. See, Ryan, I know. So Frequency Event Promotion has already thrown his hat in the ring in regards to that. It's all about the value. And I think another thing too, this is beautiful. This leads into this conversation. Some of us, see this? Roger says, let's start ASAP. So I'm going to be asking you the next
Ready.
time I chat with you, do you have that conversation with Roger
Yes.
and even with myself? Sometimes we have to look at it. Some of us are hesitant, afraid to put money into something.
Right.
Actually, it's a good idea. Fitness IQ Cam says there's a number of people you can reach out to, Ryan. There is the Rogers, there's people like myself, but that's a good thing. That my man Mary Armstrong shared this with me. He said, Dr. Vibe, sometimes I don't get it. We have these offerings and people don't want to take a calculated risk on this. He said, people need to realize if you invest in something and even if you get a 20% return, isn't it worth it?
Right.
Fitness IQ Cam, you deal with stocks. How many people expect to get 100% return on a stock investment?
But even 20% is like
Even if you got
phenomenal.
20%. And I really thank Mario for sharing that with me, saying, you know what? You know, even if you get a 20% back on this, isn't it worth it? Look, if you got 3 people put their money in bank accounts, they get 1%.
Right. That's wild.
They get 1%.
That is wild.
Sometimes you have to take that calculated risk. Think about it. Think about if you put something, your energy, even if it's your energy, and you got 10% back, isn't it worth it?
Right.
Isn't that worth it? You know, the rule of 72, Fitness IQ Cam, KMT. She says, kiss my teeth. She loves when we run the economic stuff. She says, too many. Because, or GICs that I spoke about. Again, we have to just keep on educating, keep on having people come on like the Rogers, like the Ray McMillans, etc. Wayne Harris, all these people. They're not doing it for the good of that. They're just doing it because they want you to score goals and get wins, family. Those people know more than I do. I don't know a lot. They've taught me.
Speaking of which, the next open session that we have, we should invite Roger. And there's a gentleman, Anthony, that does succession planning for businesses and helping them sell their companies. I think
I actually just went to a session. I'll put the name up. CEO Global had a free session about a week ago about success. Wow, was that amazing?
Oh yeah, that'd be solid. Okay,
the guy was amazing. Yeah. I don't care what color he is. The things you were talking about are laws, so it doesn't matter what it comes from. It's just facts.
Exactly.
You know, facts. Okay, like I said, me chop liver. Look at her. You're not chop liver. You're aligned with EYL, so I don't even touch you. Right? But no, I think actually we could have Wayne talk about that succession planning.
Yeah, which I was thinking if we had like a few people on.
We need to get some roundtable conversations going here. But succession planning, business wise and personal wise.
Right. Well, and then that's where, because a lot of times we don't think about succession planning.
We all think we're going to be around forever.
But even still, like when you think about it, then you realize how to actually structure your business today. Because when it gets to the end, then it's too late. That's where I think we're losing a lot of the value that's in our company because we're not structuring it from the beginning properly.
I really say I hope when you have time, you got to watch the replay from Friday. That was, oh boy, Wayne went some off script. It was so good. It was so.
I'm looking forward to that.
It was so good. Like he was just quick little story. He said he was talking to a lady at the resort, and she's CEO of this company, and he goes, "You've been there for so many years, and you haven't moved up." Oh, he says, "Do you have a mentor?" No. And he goes, oh, and she goes, oh, and there's a new regime that's come in, and this and he goes, and how are you expecting to move up? It's now a totally new regime. Remember, that new regime didn't hire you.
Yeah, that's always tricky with the mergers or acquisitions.
They didn't hire you. So
Yeah.
say I should follow up with him when he comes, because he said, she goes, "Oh, can I get your number?" He said, "Sure. I'll see if and when that lady reaches out to him."
Mm-hmm.
All right. What I'm up to this week? New team members, got some
Nice.
working on some stuff for this platform and other platforms. And then on Friday, I've been invited to an event being held downtown Toronto by an organization called Brothers Who Care, and it's basically an economic forum for especially young people. And I've been asked to have a live conversation with Elder Louis Marsh about black economics from back in Marcus Garvey days, and how can we implement it, and why should we implement it today. So I've been asked to do that conversation. And if you're on the Dr. Vibe show, usually I had a conversation last week with the Minister of International and Trade and from Jamaica.
Yes.
And it was a good conversation. His Wi-Fi was a little challenging, but one of the team members cleaned up the conversation. So I'll be posting that in the next day or so. And there's actually the Consul General from Jamaica was actually in the conversation on Friday. So I have to follow up with him, because there could be some more collaboration down the road with that.
Love it.
Hey, that's about it. We're done today. Oh man, I need to take care of my belly. Carolyn was supposed to be on today. Okay. And this might sound unorthodox, but example, if Pepsi and Coca-Cola were to partner up, would sales increase or decrease? It's a good question. Unorthodox. You know what? We may that no, that won't happen, because both of them make so much money. That's a good question. Not sure. I don't. Now, again, people just think Pepsi and Coca-Cola for the drinks. Go look at the companies that they own.
Right. The actual web of companies. No, the web that you want to see is Disney. The Disney web of companies that they own.
Better Louis Vuitton.
Same. Yeah.
No, but Louis Vuitton, the head of Louis Vuitton, Bernard Arnault, is the richest man in the world.
Look at that. There, you see?
You look at all the companies there, Moet, Sephora.
Right.
A lot of these things that people that look like us look to have. We feel valued when we wear them. And look who we're giving it to. But Pepsi, has anyone gone into a Taco Bell or a Pizza Hut in the last year or two?
Oh, no.
If you go in there, all the drink products are Pepsi brands. Why? Because Pepsi owns Taco Bell and Pizza Hut.
Yep. Hey, that's how you corner it. Make sure they have no choice.
Exactly. Popeyes, Tim Hortons, owned by the same company, Restaurant Brands International.
Hey, speaking of which, we should touch base with Tim. We haven't had him on in a long time. Maybe he'll join the roundtable.
Tim Frey?
Tim Frey, yeah.
Haven't heard from him in a minute.
Yeah, I know he's
working on stuff, and he's probably not even in the country.
With supporting black charities.
Yeah, he's probably not. He's probably most of the time he's not even the. She goes, I just rather Canada Dry. That's owned by somebody too. I don't know if it's Coke, Pepsi, but they're a subsidiary of a bigger brand, right?
Yes.
And Frequency Event Promotion says, thanks for another good show. Dr. says the LVMH owns so much. Yes. And she says, instead of buying Louis Vuitton or any of those other brands, we need to start owning Louis VH stocks. Could you imagine? And I know there was a report earlier on or during last year saying that the majority of brand new stock owners in the United States, a lot of them are melanated people. Could you imagine if we owned so much stock in Coke? We go to one of their board meetings, we'd run things.
Right. Well, the people that are at those meetings know that. So until we realize and know that, yes, we will show up.
And Fitness, I goes, I know I like Pepsi brand and Canada Dry is part of cola. There you go. And she goes, yikes. No, could you imagine if we were able as a people to take over a brand?
Absolutely.
Right?
And what better brand than Gucci? Listen,
oh gosh.
We're not even paying attention.
Right? So Fitness IQ stock LVMH 805 euros. So a euro is at least one. I don't know what the conversion,
Almost
but
two?
it's probably two
Canadian.
So that's $1,600 a share, and the price ain't gonna go down.
And that's less than the cost of any of their products.
Thank you very much.
So
you spark the importance of partnerships, network, and clean client. Absolutely. All right. We are done. So you can catch replays of this epic conversation on the Dr. Vibe Show YouTube and Facebook, Afro-Caribbean Business Network on Facebook and YouTube, and Ryan O'Neill Knight on on LinkedIn and YouTube. Look at this, Fitness IQ. She says the stock is up LVMH almost 11.5% year to date. So it ain't going down. Because one of the reasons is we buying their stuff.
And they know that.
And they know that. They've got it in. So, Ryan, got to say that at the end of this Friday coming up, we have a lady named Siobhan Chin on. Do you know who she is, Ryan?
I don't.
Okay. Siobhan Chin owns a company called Flick Fireworks.
I've met Siobhan.
Okay.
But I didn't remember her name because we met, and the fact that she owned a fireworks company is very memorable. But okay, that's great.
Yeah, she owns Flick, and she has won a number of awards in the last year with her company. And again, in her space, she's probably the only melanated woman in Canada in her space. So she's going to talk a little bit about her business journey.
Nice.
Also, drones.
Okay.
Also, I wonder if she has anything to do with, well, she probably didn't get, but she's done fireworks drone for events right across Canada.
Amazing.
Right across Canada. So it's going to be great to have her on to share a business journey. Anything else we need to put on? Actually, I just put Ryan's information up on the screen. I'm trying to find mine, but if I don't find mine, I don't mind. It ain't about me. It ain't about me. Oh, I can find it. I found it. But yeah, so she'll be on, and then we're hoping to have Carolyn on next Monday. So my apologies to anyone who wanted to tune in and see Carolyn. Not only is she better looking, but she's better looking than me anyways. She knows about the food.
She has the info we need.
We have to get the belly down, especially before the season that's coming up. So as always, I want to say thanks to everybody. Don't just manage your time, manage your energy. Remember to give I said that wrong. Live your life as a dream. If you can dream it, you can make it. Sometimes you have to get small to get stronger. Block assumptions, then aim bigger, aim better, aim higher, aim wider. Love, faith, and respect. Remember to give yourself grace and don't just manage your time, manage your energy. Join the Discord group, watch replays, share the information out. Check out Indie Soup Media. Great content on there. Not only just Ryan and myself, incredible content creators. We'll see you on Friday, if not in between. And get your belly down.